What's up? What's up?
What's going on?
A great day in paradise, I hope. Sounds like we're on the internets.
We are on the internets.
Awesome.
Going pretty well.
Numbers are looking great.
First great, street great, this face is great.
Yeah, we know the face is right.
My face is right. Because I got to watch a preview of a movie.
Holy crap. Alright, well, there goes that.
What's in that?
Well, I got it in my show notes to talk about the community challenge.
Okay.
And when I typed in the notes, it was at 88% with 12 days remaining. Now there's a notification that we are at 95% at 98K. So just 2,000 more points and we'll be at 100K. Wow.
Awesome sauce. I say great. Like, Tiger of Syria.
Yeah, totally. So.
Great. But that's it. Yeah.
Thanks, Shad. Love that. To be honest, it's a 1,564 channel points, or as I've renamed them, bubbles. Then we will be at 100,000.
100,000.
Oh, it was only 30. I mean, you might. It's government math. You always round up.
Round up. It means we.
Fair. How's everyone doing tonight? We got lots of people in the chats. Love it.
Hey, everybody. Awesome
Yeah.
sauce.
Everybody's in there. It's all good to go. So it's Tuesday night. It's Scuba and The Ry, where we hang out. We talk about geek and everything else. Okay. Well, I guess before we go any further, congratulations, chat. Congratulations, community. We are adding another weekly stream to the schedule. You guys are awesome and amazing.
Yeah, somebody pushed it over.
Oh yeah, somebody pushed it over. It's just like, oh really? We're that close? Beep.
Oh yeah, just push it over. Beep. The beard is strong.
Thank you, Harley girl. Thank you. It's amazing. Normally when I go and visit my stylist, I have the beard cut to like a professional length. All this COVID stuff, I just let it go because I hate it because I always feel I'm gonna screw it up and then it's just gonna look nasty and everything. And I prefer the stylists I go to.
Professional touch. I agree. Fine, I get it.
Oh yeah, I mean you gotta get your game on.
Get your game on, people.
I love that song, by the way. Both versions, game on and I got my game on. If you can tell me the artist, cool. All right. Oh wow.
Beard is here.
Keep it going. Think I should go to where I get to like the wizard level.
Yes. Alright. Well, you can do the wizard level and level for other level.
Oh, it's chilly. Yours is a year and a half so far. Yeah, I saw that last night on the Into the Mist stream. That was you definitely got some good beard game there.
Fun stuff going on. Fun stuff.
Really? See, I don't. Harley Girl 80.
Got pictures.
I know, that's the scary thing. Because I'm trying to figure out who's got pictures of me.
Well, my pictures are all over the place, so that's not me.
Well, I mean, for the sake, because I don't recognize the handle. I have a feeling I know who it is. But for those who don't know, or just getting to know me, I was last clean shaven November 2003.
Before my
Which is when I got out of the Marine Corps and started making my way from the West Coast to the East Coast. Ever since then, I've had a goatee and probably about 7 years ago, give or take. Because I think, Ry, when you and I met each other and we were working together, I was rocking the goatee thing like you.
Yeah.
And then it was a few years into it, I finally just went full beard, and we just kept going that. But yeah. So yeah, it's almost another lifetime ago.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff lifetime ago. I'm like, even working together now, it's a lifetime ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd probably dig out some of my old Marine Corps pics and pop them up if anybody was curious.
Speaking of a long time ago, I was going through some photos for. I'll talk about.
Oh, go ahead, talk now. I mean,
All right.
well, we're chill. We're super chill.
Okay,
We're gonna hang out.
What's been happening? Movies. Saturday went up to the cidery again, the whole rock cidery because I like to drink.
Mm-hmm.
And then I decided to venture out into a winery because I was curious on how they were doing it with COVID. So they're doing tastings, but you got to register for it. We didn't make it in time for that, so we just bought a bottle and drank there. At one of my favorite wineries, Veritas Winery in Charleston. Went to it is Sunday. But some others is I did find a novel published.
You did?
Lulu.com.
Yay! Do you have a link? Do you have a link?
I have a link.
Drop a link.
I will drop it. But the thing is that when I was actually looking up photos for my book cover, I found a slew that said photos from work. There's a bunch of photos from theaters at Liberty.
Oh,
When I
really?
used to bring my camera in and just take photos of everything. Yes.
I remember those days.
So
I remember those days.
I'll bring that hard drive over. Get some photos. How some people have, for the good or the bad, however you want. Thanks.
Well, a little teaser. It's not one of my better pictures, but I got one here. It's been sitting here. I used to keep it on my desk at work. This was me. Went to visit a museum in Las Vegas, and they call it the Threat Museum, where they had a bunch of bits and pieces. But pretty close to. That was me, roughly 2002, roundabout. No, 2000. Yeah, I want to say about 2001 actually. But, you know, that was a long time ago.
That's a big turn off.
No, I mean, it's kind of early on in that.
Yeah, that RPG was cool.
There's no getting around that if you know what it is.
Yeah.
I've got some other ones where you actually see me looking forward and stuff, and somewhere around here I got some pictures of me in my dress blues when I used to do that a lot. But yeah, I don't normally take a lot of photos. It isn't until recently, you know, a lot more photogenic-ish. Anyways, so. Fun time. It has to be. It has to be. I mean, there's so many things you do in life, especially that whole getting up to high school, post-high school, college, adventure, flit around back to back. I mean, that's what makes things fun.
Yeah, that's what I kind of enjoyed looking at all those photos and find some book covering. I have so much I have grown from and grown to. I keep everything dated in the like kind of watching go by.
I was catching up on my YouTube feed the other day, and there was one of the developer updates for D&D Beyond with Adam. And he, for showcasing the 3-year anniversary of D&D Beyond, he showed some clips of when his first episode of the developers update in 2017 versus how he looks now in 2020, and it's just like, oh wow. Yeah, time flies.
Oh yeah, time. It was a good weekend. Like, mountain travel.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna have to go with no. Chili. No. Just no.
No. Not gonna happen.
No.
But
Actually, there aren't a whole lot of embarrassing ones, but at least I can speak that for me. I can't speak for, you know, Ry guy here. But again, we're not doing that. That is a time-honored and horrible tradition that should be fully acquainted for when you bring your significant other to meet your parents, and your parents sit there and show out all those old pictures. It should not be something up here.
Photos are all over the house, so it's easy.
Oh yeah, I mean, so, but yeah, lots of fun there. Lots of stories to talk about, I'm sure.
But
The El Paso incidents, oh yeah.
yeah, I found photos, not work related, of some, brought back some content.
Odd memories of the old tech floor?
Not. Okay. No comment. I had to pause there and I had to think, and I'm going through those folders. Yeah, there's some oddness. There's some there. I found the Halloween photos of both Halloween parties. So.
You know that moment when everything falls into place, and you have a moment of clarity? I just had that. At that last comment. When I should have known. I should have known. I should have known. Harley Girl is not talking about Harley as in Harley Davidson motorcycles, which I'm a big fan of. We're talking about the wonderful crazy chick from Batman the Animated Series that we all know and love, Harley Quinn. And that comment right there, just now I know who it is, and it is so good to see you again. It's been a hot minute. So, old friend, probably one of my oldest friends, although we had a few moments. Had a few moments. But she's definitely one of my oldest friends. So big shout out and welcome to the fam, the community. But yeah,
Welcome.
Harley Girl's got some dirt. She's got a little bit of dirt on me.
Got your, let's go. And then email.
Yeah. Well, you know. And again, it's good friends at this point. I feel after 22 years, 23 years. It's well worth the friendship for the ups and the downs, and the fact that we are friends, because most people with our history don't have that kind of don't end up being friends. At least, you know, not that I've heard. All right, I digress. Rolling down memory lane, that's awesome. I don't like feeling old. It does. So yeah, Scuba and The Ry, episode number 62. 62 episodes. Wow.
For you. You are two.
Joker smile. It's hard to tell with the beard, but I used to have really an evil smile. Although, you know.
Hey, it works. Just smile as long as you're happy.
Oh, yeah.
Deadly terror. Alright.
Speaking of terror, it's a lot of people in the chat know I dabble a little bit over in other as a moderator on other channels and doing some role play and in it right now, and I made the mistake of I don't know if I call it a mistake on my part, but I went in the subscriber chat and made a comment about, hey, I'm bored, who wants a visit? Yeah, that went. I couldn't ask for a better impromptu, completely shoot from the hip, off the cuff chaos. Pure and utter chaos. Which I'll talk a little bit more about in State of Game. Let's get into our announcements, and I thank everybody. Of course, first thing and foremost is thank you to Syrinscape for the background music and soundboards. This is a custom set I have been dabbling in for the studio, for our sit-down hangout, kind of a mixing of a couple of different tavern tracks to kind of give a nice ambient chill hangout kind of deal.
Thank you.
Go to Syrinscape.com, check out all the stuff they got. They got a great online player if you want to work with people who are remote. They got players you can download and just run through in when you have your friends at your table, when they can come back to your table after all the COVID craziness. But yeah, Syrinscape, gotta love them. And of course, thank you to the community. You've met the challenge, so I'm going to be doing another show. If you are a subscriber to this Twitch channel, and you go ahead and join our Discord community, there's a special subscriber section which we will be compiling the suggestions that are being made, and put out a series of polls. The polls will help determine the content for the new show, what day of the week, and what time of day, and how long the show should be. And we'll put that out there. Right now, if you want, you can go into the general channel on the Discord and drop in a suggestion. I'm going to take the suggestions. I'm going to speak with my admin and moderation team to kind of come through and boil those down a little bit, and then we will filter down to the subscribers. You guys vote, and then toward the end of September, beginning of October, depending on how much prep time goes into making the new show will start, and we'll let you know how everything goes. We've got challenge accepted on Saturday nights. Yep. Spoke with the cast earlier today, and they are up for continue to have their adventure Saturday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll see how they go. Also, this Saturday, at 10 a.m. Eastern time, we have a returning it's kind of a new and returning thing. We're going to do another D&D show, but it's going to be a returning cast. This is the group. This is some of the members of the group that we did the charity stream, which all of those videos are up on YouTube right now for the Twilight's Last Gleaming one shot, 5 parts. The last one posted just a little bit ago, so you can go and check that out. And then part of that cast will be back, and they will be continuing their adventures literally right where they left off at the end of the stream. So we'll see what happens there. That's it for my announcements. Ry, you got anything?
Other than Volgraza, Vine, Orchard, published my book, gaming, movies, one today, and early access on it yesterday, but that review was long, so you'll have to weeks before I got it. But that's about it, and preparing for school. I got 3 of my 6 books. Waiting for the other 3. Classes Thursday nights.
Nice.
Wish me luck, people. Grad school awaits.
Nice. Alrighty, well, I guess with that, we'll just go ahead and get into our what's up, the things we've been doing for the last week. Obviously, we talked a little bit about things, but clearly Ry has been out wandering around, and I even did a little wandering. I got myself a new chair and whatnot, and I got some parts for the computer. I use a 2 PC setup for streaming. I have 1 PC right here that I use for my production work, getting into the gaming side once I can pick up a graphics card, because graphics cards are like stupid expensive right now for some reason.
Yes, they are. Friends, prices in cards. I'm like, yeah, that's.
Well, I'm looking at a 1660 and looking at about $270. So, but you know, I'm kind of holding off. However, though, we've been having some technical issues with the Streambox, which the Streambox is a very low-end box because all it literally has to do is process the video feeds and stream to Twitch. Well, I took some research and I found some upgrade parts, so I got those in today, dropped them in, and so far things are looking amazing. I went from RAM being 8 gigabyte to 16 gigabyte, and I dropped in a dedicated graphics card. I got a 1030 low profile card to put into the box, and so far things are amazing. As far as I could see here, how does it look to you guys out on the stream? Are we having any of those lag or?
There is at least no lag from watching. So.
Night Harley Girl, we'll see you on our next one. And toss me a message sometime.
Amazing.
Awesome. I think I pumped it. I think I actually took out the ratio. It used to be I would record in 1080, and then I would downgrade it to 720. Downgraded it to 720 when I would push it out to Twitch. Because I'm looking at these numbers, I went ahead and just took that off. So I'm streaming at 1080 today, and if things are looking stable, then this is awesome.
It is. It is.
Oh, sweet. I love it when a plan comes together.
Oh, yes. I'll make sure it comes together.
So, yeah, I ventured out to Ikea, and on a whim, went out to Ikea. Well, you know, the line was miserable because, you know, everybody's got to wear their masks, and you got to limit the number of people who can go in, and blah, 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 blah. But went in, found this chair. Obviously, the one I really want, I can't get right now, and at some point, I do hope to be able to afford to get it. And that is one of the LF gaming chairs that I can then get the logos and everything put on, and you know, have it just be kind of cool. But in the interim, I found this this nice chair, the high back chair. It's not too bad. I didn't get the arms because, you know, the arms are fixed and not very adjustable. And of course, as soon as I get it home, put it together, it's like, oh, there's a piece I don't like. So I went in and I bought upgrade parts, and like you do with all IKEA furniture, because I honestly think you cannot go and buy IKEA furniture and just leave it as is. You always have to modify it. That's like it's like you're an entry-level IKEA person. If you buy the stuff, build it, just set it up somewhere and just ignore it. You know IKEA, when you buy the stuff, start modifying it as soon as. So I got new wheels for it, but I had to bore out the slots that the wheels go into. I had to bore it out like a couple of 32nds of an inch in order to be able to fit the new wheels in. But good, stable. I love it. Should carry me until I have to do some more modifications.
I can't walk out with buying something.
Well, I was looking at the bookcases because I'm a carpenter, so I could build stuff. I mean, I built that coffee bar that's behind you, Rod. Made that a number of years ago, and it's like it builds stuff. But I was sitting there thinking, it's like I want to redo this room for the studio stuff. It's like, do I want to build bookcases, or do I want to get some IKEA bookcases and just modify them as I install them on the wall? Yeah, it's kind of one of the things I'm pondering. But, you know, I mean, IKEA is all about hacking the furniture and, you know, crafting and making and all that stuff, which is the kind of things I'm into. So,
I did go there recently.
what'd you find?
I found some foam. One thing I did get out of the store was memory foam fell out, and Use Louise has it. My sleep better. I am not lying.
I get there. I want to get a new mattress and stuff too, and so get there. Oh, open box cabinets. Good call. I'll have to think about that one.
Oh yeah, but yeah, you can definitely. Like, best thing, the one thing I do like about walking like IKEA, just walk around and start brainstorming.
Oh, real quick, got a couple of questions. Got a comment from Crystal. It was the best ever. Okay. And the other one, another one from her question is, what made you choose to go beard? To be honest, I was kind of at first it was just the goatee thing because that's kind of what it is, and then I think at some point it was just decided to just stop shaving the sides and wanted to try something different because I went with a goatee for about a decade, and then it was like I want to change it up, but I'm not sure what because I hated being clean shaven. I look stupid young when I'm clean shaven, and then it was just kind of, okay, what am I going to do and how am I going to do it? And then the beard just kind of felt comfortable and everything. And then, of course, I found those some great pictures and memes. And one of my favorites, which I will try and pull up right here live because, you know, I am just like that. Faves, because I think fave. Oh, yeah. This one is by far one of my favorites. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, it doesn't work on there. But it's essentially all the Disney princes. They're clean shaven. Then you got a picture of Leonidas. Kings have beards. And it's like that's kind of it kind of just feels right at that point. Yeah, 300. Leonidas from 300. It's the beard. And then I got into riding motorcycle, and beards make sense riding motorcycle because it gets a little chilly when you're riding. So you know the beard now has a practical application of being a wind deterrent. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Hey, you gotta have a shield, and the beard is a shield. But if it does its job, then it's job well done.
Yeah, I mean it's not bad. Granted, right now it's the longest it's ever been. So it's like that, and I get really skin gets really irritated when I shave. So you know, but like I said, it's that's what it is. So back to that. So you went winery visiting. You got a pillow from Ikea. We went and saw New Mutants Friday night as well. And actually ventured out to the movie theater for the first time in the quote-unquote post-COVID. And yeah, I'm not one for big crowds anymore. I mean, it's almost like the cliche joke from Clerks. It's I hate people, but I love gatherings. No, I'm not. I just not really a big fan. Wasn't a big fan. And the thing, I actually did like the fact the theater wasn't overcrowded because I hate when you packed into a theater like sardines.
Yeah.
Especially when the chairs aren't very comfortable. But then again, I'm a big guy, so it's kind of detrimental that I'm a big guy because as a big guy, there aren't many comfortable places I can go. So I don't go to a lot of places. And this whole COVID stuff, it's like I want to go less. And I just found it really irritating sitting there watching the movie wearing the mask. I'm not a fan of wearing a mask everywhere I go. I will do it. Don't get me wrong. I will do it because that is the socially conscious and acceptable thing to do. So I will wear a mask when I go out, when I go into buildings and whatnot, or I'm around people. But I was not comfortable wearing the mask for like 2 to 3 hours straight in the theater because they started pulling them. It was not comfortable. So I really don't think I'm going back to the theaters as long as wearing a mask is required.
Yeah.
Empire's really good movie to watch in theaters, hands down.
I think it's still one of the ones I did.
Actually, that was kind of funny. We're rolling up on the theater, right? They got movie posters from like 6-8 months ago still up in there, and it's just like, wow.
And I just mentioned this girl walking by. It's like I think we use these posters. But yeah, going to the theaters the first time. I mentioned this, but walking out, I've never seen the theater as clean as that in my whole life. And I've been going to that theater open. But yeah, it was a different experience. They do have good protocols in place, so I feel safe going back. And since it's open, I will be doing. So I will be there. My popcorn, my tea, ask on when I need it.
And I will. As much as I don't want to, if there's a really good movie I want to watch, like I know there's one in October.
There is one. You sent me the link.
There's a movie in October I want to go watch. It's called Death on the Nile, and it's a follow-up. It's in the same vein as the new Murder on the Orient Express, because I love Kenneth Branagh. I think he's a phenomenal director, and I really enjoy the work he does. When it's the class, especially classical stuff. I mean, a lot of my appreciation for Shakespeare has been the ones that he does.
Is it a direct sequel?
I'm not familiar with the source material, so I can't say. So if it is, I think I would definitely have to go look that up. Yeah, I was wondering that too. It's like Crystal had a comment. I would love their theater because they have couches. And it's like, really? A theater with couches? Dude, it's awesome.
Oh yeah, yeah. Our AMC, it does have a Dolby Cinema, have a theater of recliners. But the good thing with our AMC is that all the theaters are.
Yeah, well, we have another local theater chain called Cinema Cafe, which is one of those diner theater combos, and they typically have more spread out seating because people are eating or whatever, and the chairs are a little bit bigger and more comfortable. AMC, it's just it's a lot like why I hate flying, not because of the TSA. TSA is its own reason to hate flying, but
Good one.
but I don't like flying because the seat it's like oh, how many people can we cram in this metal pressurized cylinder that travels in the sky
For so many hours.
and I have flown cross country several times, and I don't. I like flying, but I only like flying if I can sit someplace if I'm comfortable. If I'm not comfortable, I hate flying. But that's a lot of things. If I'm not comfortable, I no. I will find some other. I'm happy with driving because then I'm comfortable in my car.
You and me are the same thing. If I can drive there, I'm gonna go there. So, but yeah.
But yeah.
The cafe.
Well, I mean,
that's where we were on.
yeah, Cinema Cafe. They have the chairs, and the price isn't bad. I mean, brand new movie. I mean, on a Saturday night to be able to go to the theater for like $10. Versus go to AMC and you're lucky if you're spending like less than 20. So I mean, I can go to Cinema Cafe and spend $20 and have a full meal, drink, and watch the film, and not feel like I overspent.
Cinema Cafe does give you a great alternative. Plus all of them premiere events. So y'all should. That's a. I have the 8. Free tickets.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
so, but, yeah. Any movies out there coming in? Expect reviews for them.
Yeah, and if it's a really good one, or by popular, we may put up a series of polls, be like, "Hey, go give us your opinion on this movie," and then I will brave the theater just for you.
Oh yeah. So expect reviews coming for and Black Widow, Wonder Woman, all the other movies.
Well,
Theaters.
since we're going there, let's segue over.
Yes. On to.
Let's segue over and let us do the New Mutants. A couple people in chat were asking our opinions on that. So now we'll just dive right into it for the reviews. As always, these reviews come courtesy of Ry. All you have to do is go to ryreviews.com and check out his review and all of the other reviews. He's titled this review, New Mutants, Powers of the Familiar, Horror of Comics. Ry?
Okay. So the New Mutants. Long story short, this movie was supposed to come out 3 years ago, and through a plethora of many delays, thoughts, and whatnots, they finally made it August 2020. Yay! This film is a amalgamation of the lasting touch of Fox of X-Men, and it was another one of those films that they were trying to blend in genres like Logan and Deadpool. They were blending on different genres with the comic book. This one was an attempt to blend in the horror genre with comic books. And the central idea is that the story of this film follows 5 young mutants that are brought to an isolated institution where they begin to manifest their powers. Here at this institution, they're being held against their will for unknown reasons, don't know yet. And then through some series of events, they decide that they want to work together to get out of this facility, but also confront their past and ultimate powers much greater. One thing I liked about this film from the onset is the fact that the film uses a mixture of horror elements, character elements, and combines it with the comic book genre. Instead of taking the typical path of an origin tale following good versus evil, it actually takes all these genres and building up who these 5 young mutants are, who the doctor is, and why are they in this facility. Everything is done through a conversation in the first half. So it's a very slow build, a methodical build, and you get to see the character's backstory. So they'll be talking about their past. You get hints of their powers, and you also get hints of why they are very on the edge of their own personal growth. There is stuff in the past that causes them to wreak havoc, be scared, go insane, or just total conflict with all of them. The genuine feel of the characters is what I appreciate about the film, but outside of that, the story was pretty much a predictable outline of confrontation, kind of twist, focusing on one of them. The latter half of the film is where the horror element starts to come in. That's where you get a disjointed kind of experience. You get to see the powers on display, you get to see them try to band together to get out of this. But at the same time, it kind of loses identity. It tries to do much with all the stuff that's put together, but it never loses focus of the characters. So once it gets to the climax, it does a great job of bringing closure to the past and on a high note of these
Alright, first thing I'll address that question. Reshoots because of the 3-year delay. I don't think reshoots were a factor. If I understand the way this went, this was one of those things. They did do a few reshoots because they wanted to change the tone of it a little bit. And then, of course, it was the, oh, well, Fox is getting purchased by Disney. Fox put out Dark Phoenix, which was a complete travesty of an X-Men film. And then they decided, well, they didn't want to risk it, and then of course the purchase, so they restored the film to its original cut from my understanding and then released it. And I really enjoyed the film. I thought it was very nice, very well put. It didn't try to do too much. It was very character focused, which is kind of refreshing, considering quite aside from a few individual aspects of the X-Men franchise as a whole, you really didn't get a lot of character moments. You had a lot of the big kind of bombastic comic book type scenes, which you missed some of the character stuff. You really didn't start getting good character development in certain aspects, and so you had certain actors play certain characters. And then, of course, they were limited by the fact that the way the story utilized that character was a complete insult to the character's history and breadth and depth. Yeah, I'm talking about Magneto. They stopped using him as a plot device. Let him stand on his own and find some other excuse, some other plot device, rather than keep using him. Anyways, back to New Mutants.
I was thinking, no, I don't want to give that for.
Fassbender's great. Magneto. It's just it's the fact that they used him as a plot device instead of something else. It was just insulting to the character. But New Mutants is good and and it really does. I really don't understand why it was shelved, because it's not a bad film.
No, it's not.
And it actually, I think it's actually better than Dark Phoenix. Both of them.
I will give you cookies. I agree wholeheartedly on that.
This was great. I mean, the horror elements alone are worth it, because this is a horror movie-ish with comic book characters. Now, now I've read a few comments and whatnot, and I will agree that this feels like it's a glorified Netflix film. In some regards, when you sit there and think back on it, it looks like this would be something that would do amazingly well through the streaming services. Horror in the sense of like the psychological. I mean, we're talking these 5 kids and their doctor are essentially in a mental institution.
Yes.
And the nice thing is this fits in with all of the franchise toward the latter part of the films. Like, if we look at Logan and we look at X-Men Apocalypse, and those 2 films and this one, there are elements that bridge there are elements in all 3. Like, they tease the Essex Corporation, which, you know, that's a subtle thing if you really know who Essex is in relation.
Oh yeah.
And then it was with Logan. There are scenes in Logan where they talked about when you see the. By now, most people should have seen it. Those who can see it, but if not, I'm sure. Days of Future Past, not so much. Days of Future Past was more or less the passing the torch. But no, X-Men Apocalypse, where you have that cameo of Logan, where we're in the Canadian Institute, and Logan is in that full Weapon X gear. At the end of the film, there's an Easter egg scene where they took some of Logan's blood and put it in a briefcase, and the briefcase says Essex. Then we move into Logan, where there's scenes of when X-23 was in this hospital, and what the Essex Corporation was doing with the kids. Then, so you have those elements, and then tie in with this. These are the only 5 kids in this whole facility. It's got a complete lockdown on it. And if you know that with comic books, it's Moonstar was her name. Moonstar. If you know her from the comics, you kind of already have an idea what they did with the film, and it was great. I mean, it had that. It was. I'm trying to think. What was some other? It was some good like psychological horror stuff. The whole thing about playing your fears and whatnot.
Powers was causing the other characters.
It's almost like what was that? It's almost like the whole Dream Warriors, some of that stuff, only without the slasher part, the slasher film aspect, but just that concept of using your fears against you. Which now I'm realizing it's kind of inspired me on some of the things I did over the last couple of days. Go figure. Anyways,
Deja vu.
well, you know, I went with there's the connection. I went with this and thinking fear, and then scarecrows, Batman, what's he got in his cave? He's got that T-Rex and all of that, which is why I used zombie T-Rexes on Sunday to just decimate. There's the connection.
Always a connection.
Love it. But yeah, so I enjoyed the film. I would definitely add this to my collection. I would definitely watch it again. So I gave it. I'm gonna call it about a 3.5 out of 5, because it doesn't need to be bombastic. It just needs to be enjoyable. And this film was legitimately enjoyable to watch. So.
Oh yeah. I enjoyed the film. It had some great elements that they incorporated just out. It's not a bad film. Not terrible. It's right around the middle of both of them. Very obvious. tropes that it pretty much not exactly what I thought it would be. Overall, it's the same kind of feeling I had watching Project Power, even though it's safe. A fun ride. So 3 out of 5. Definitely on the screen if you can. If not, it'll be out of 3 person at some point.
Yeah. Very much so.
I believe HBO has the rights.
It's all good.
HBO Max,
Well, I think the Wolverine is about to come onto Disney Plus this month, so I'll be definitely checking that out. 'Cause that one is by far my favorite of the whole X-Men franchise. I can't even... Logan was great, but, you know, the Wolverine is just a great ride, I think. So, alrighty, so yeah, that was that, and yeah.
Hold up.
Oh.
Let me give it to you. Did drop it. I don't know stuff on it, but because I'm an A-lister, they get early access.
Yeah, you already said that.
Yeah, but I wanted to. But I thought about it. What I thought about it was, gotta wait.
Really? That's the best you got. You gotta watch my stream. You gotta watch my game streams, dude. You gotta watch some of the stuff that's like, you know, that good cliffhanger moments.
Well, I can tell you that Nolan does something.
Christopher Nolan makes really good films, and there's always a mind element to all of his films.
Oh yeah, but I can't going fast, but fast. So move on and Bill and Ted. That would be the best edit, yes. I don't know when I'll do the Bill and Ted movie, but move on it. Yes. Or definitely.
Yeah. So. Oh yeah, well, you know, it's, and we're gonna get into that because, you know, we're gonna talk about.
Fly me with the flames.
We're gonna talk about that whole state of game. We don't have a whole lot for video game conversation, to be fair. I mean, I did a little bit of Fall Guys on the other day, and Ry's working on Ghost of Tsushima, almost done with Act 2, you said?
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, I'm finishing up. I'm on the last story for Act 2. Playing a lot of Crosscode on my Switch, which is it's that action RPG game. It's really fun, really fast paced. I definitely.
You gotta be more. You gotta speak up some more, right?
Okay.
We're going with one mic tonight to kind of replace the echo.
Test.
So Ry's just gotta project a little bit more.
Alright, rewind. So, Ghost of Tsushima, I'm getting ready to finish Act 2. So I'm about to raid the castle. And then Crosscode on the Switch is a very fun action RPG. So anybody that loves the old school action RPGs or RPGs back in the day, I would recommend that game, Crosscode. Those are my updates.
So yeah, all I've got some D&D stuff, and Challenge Accepted episode 2 is Saturday. I'm working on the rendering right now. It's giving me a little bit of a headache, but I should have that up. Probably gonna post that tomorrow, or as soon as I get the render up. And you know, it was good. We had they went to Barovia. They had a walk in the woods in Barovia. Laced some nice Easter eggs there, and since that's done, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, throwing a lot of Easter eggs because I did have permission that I could, you know, kind of exist in that same version that we're listening to in Into the Mist. I couldn't. It's kind of an unofficial path through there. So they got to see the burned down windmill and hear about the missing elder, and you know, hear the bagpipes being played in one of the camps and all that other fun stuff. But it wasn't bad. They did get to the city in Zeresh, which is kind of modeled after Old Town London, Victorian area, and they heard a scream, heard a scream, and now the investigation continues. So Hey Sakura, welcome there.
Hey, Sakura.
So yeah, challenge accepted. We'll be doing episode 3 on Saturday. So we'll see where they go next at 8 p.m. Eastern. And now we can kind of talk about what I did on Sunday.
What did you do on Sunday?
Well, Sunday it was kind of a perfect storm, I think. Everybody was gone. Wife was working, the kids were both out with friends, and I was kind of bored because I wanted to do something. I wanted to kind of a day off. So I sat there, and you know, I felt I hadn't really been active all that much in the Discords. So I popped in and said, "Hey, who wants to visit?" And a couple people chimed in, so I started running encounters in three of the channels. One channel was one of the camps on the road for somebody else, and then teasing the end of that journey in one of the other camps. I had pulled out some monsters and started running with them, and was just, you know, causing havoc. Well, one camp cleared out their zombies, and the other camp was starting to get the upper hand, and then people were starting to bamp in to assist. And when the initiative order got to be about 9 strong, with more people arriving, I was like, all right, let's step this up a notch. So I brought in 2 zombie T-Rexes, and just scared the crap out of them, where they're all like, we're out, forget it, we're done. I mean, it's just like in the scenes from Jurassic Park. It was, you feeling the impact tremors, you're hearing the trees groan, and then they step out of the tree line and just let loose that iconic roar. And then it was just like, people in the camps were like, yep, I'm out. I'm out. And it was like, okay, well, one of the elders had popped in, and he's like, no, we stay, we fight. It's like, okay. So I decided to move it into Zoom so that a little easier for my management and thought process versus trying to type and follow the typing. And then it was like, okay, so we got a Zoom going. I think I had 20 people in the Zoom call, with an additional 5, 6 or so in the voice channel because they couldn't get into Zoom. And I was trying to have them all kind of participate in this in this encounter, which was essentially the 2 T-Rexes and the zombies that were still there. And it was like, and I guess I attracted the attention from on high, and a couple of people I wasn't expecting popped in, and we're just watching everything unfold. And as things were unfolding, it was like, at one point, Jay was like, "Hey, can you put me in the initiative order?" I'm like, "Okay." Jump right in. He brings in, and typical, he brings in a ringer. And it was just like, decimates part of my forces. And in the end, you know, I knocked a few people down to like have to roll death saves, but then the spellcasters healed them and burned their slots, and it's like, it was one of those, it was like I was wearing them down and wearing them down and wearing them down, but I didn't wear them down enough. And I have to say, the only thing I accomplished was was severely damaging one of the camps, because in my mind, I'm thinking that scene from the second Jurassic Park film where they're all kind of moving through the interior and they all camped, and the T-Rex had walked into camp until it was startled, and then everybody was just chaos. That's how in my mind it was going. And it was just like, all right, let's see how this goes. And it's like, now of course, and you realize when you know you've reached a certain point of infamy, when you have the coding crew go into the, because there's Avery, which some of you who don't know, Avery is a bot you can use to make dice rolls and track character stuff. People were actually you can write custom commands called aliases. People wrote aliases for when Scoob to respond. It's like when Scoob calls for a perception check, and it's immediately like a Dark Souls, everybody dies. It's like,
That's.
oh yeah, if you nailed that one, I would be totally dropping that gif from Meet the Robinson. I got a big head and little arms. I'm sorry. But I realized where I kind of screwed up on the encounter. I made note of that. But so it's like now it's like, and last night after the show, I went in and started laying more seeds of chaos throughout the camp. So what should I do next? You know what? I'm asking this, chat. What should I unleash next? I know some of you are in there, so it's like, how do we want to tempt fate? What kind of wrath shall be spoken of? Well, I know what you're doing, Shad. You and I have been discussing and working tactics for that. Oops. But if anybody's got some ideas, what's your wish list? What's your wish list to fight? Or do you really want to tempt it? I don't know a lot of the monsters. Yeah. That's fair, because, I mean, you know, if you're Remores? Ooh. Ooh, I like that one. Those things are nasty. Oh, you want to fight Loradak. Ooh, Loradak, the Rakshasa Maharaja with 5 heads. Yeah, that would be just nasty.
His ideas drop.
Oh, a little layer of the oh yeah, the Remoras, they can be pretty ugly. Remoras are in the random tables for level 5 through 10. Hey, wait a minute. Most of the players are between 4 or about level 4. Game on. I'm all for it. I'm I'm willing to give it a shot. You know what? You know something? I keep hearing about this creature, and I just for funsies. How about a Tarrasque? How about an undead Tarrasque? Just rolling through. But you know, I've got something I want to roll through. Maybe some cloakers. Cloakers might be fun.
Throw everything in the pot.
Cloakers might be fun. You realize once we get into October, it's like it's all horror all the time, right?
Yeah. I completely understand.
Each zombie T-Rex was a CR8. So that was 2 CR8s, and the zombies were each a CR1, but they weren't traditional zombies. They were called husk zombies. They pretty much move at speed and don't care about feasting. They just care about killing. Well, you know, see what we can do with that. Maybe some cloakers. Or a shadow dragon. How about a shadow dragon? Undead dragon, yeah, maybe a shadow dragon.
ideas.
Oh, there's more coming. Not to mention, I spend my time reading the monster manuals and stuff, and, you know, I'm not allowed to do anything homebrew, so it has to be a published monster. And I have all of those big books to pick from. And, of course, Rime of the Frost Maiden is a... oh, that's right. It's coming out this month. New monsters! Yeah, a Shadow Dragon? Alright. Crystal wants a Shadow Dragon in Barovia.
That Shadow Dragon. That cool. Shadow Dragons sound cool.
I've got a monster I've already asked permission to bring in. And it is it is a very interesting piece of work. And it was inspired by Princess Mononoke. So I'm just I'm waiting to bring him out. And when I do, I will. That'll be fun. So I want to see who's crazy enough to go fight it. Or they're going to see that I'm the one posting and they'll be like, nope. Because that was the other thing. Then not only they put in those aliases, like with Scuba's perception checks, everybody dies, but people are like, people are dropping memes. It's like, oh, when Scuba asks for a perception check, it's like, nope, 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 nope. I'm out. Forget it. Nope. I'm like, wow. I
guess they just don't want to be wiped out.
Walking Dead Zombie Horde. I do enjoy Days Gone. I would totally run a horde to walk through the streets, or walk down the Slavic road.
And then the zombies in Days Gone, they aren't fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I think this weekend I have a free weekend. I don't have anything really planned other than the 2 games on Saturday. Well, Crystal, since you asked, I will let you know. In previous editions, Shadow Dragons would be a specific type of dragon. However, in 5th edition, the change is a Shadow Dragon is an actual state of being. Typically, it's a dragon that finds its way into the Shadowfell and spends enough time in the Shadowfell that it starts to change at a fundamental level. So when designing one, you basically can take any dragon and add the Shadow Dragon overlay to it, which basically changes the breath weapon, gives it advantage on shadows, you know, that kind of thing. The monster from Princess Mononoke. Which one? There are a few in there that have a pretty cool D&D equivalent. And if you're going to convince me to tell you on this stream, you're out of your mind. Because I'm not telling you, because that is a secret that only the mods know. And it's one of those, I'm waiting for that final permission to just let loose. You know, that's actually not a bad sentiment, Mayflower. It really isn't. Let's do this, or what did the party get us into? I know a few. I can think of a few people who would probably say the same thing, because it's completely out of random. Yeah, I really love Princess Mononoke. Sakura, which one are you talking about? Which monster in Princess Mononoke? If you already commented, I don't know which. I didn't catch it. So. And of course, now they announced that book, Tasha's Cauldron. That's gonna be fun. Because there's got a lot of new stuff. We'll have to spend some time talking about that one and Rime of the Frost Maiden when it comes out. Just noticed Made in Abyss has a new movie, but I can't find it online anywhere. I'm not familiar with that one. What do you say we kind of roll over to odds and ends?
Let's get the odds and ends going.
Get them odds and ends. Of course, odds and ends, collection of internet stories that Ry finds and sends me. We'll say a lot of stuff this week has been different movie type film announcements, which we'll roll into after this. But if you guys want, you know, it's all good. But in the interim, here are 5 stories that I found out of the list that I felt were kind of fun to talk about. Number 1.
Numero uno.
What we got here is, now we've all heard, here in the States we've heard about the whole thing with putting in the automated kiosks so that, you know, having to worry, because restaurants, whatever, were having to worry about staffing and operating costs. So they figured they'd put in these kiosks to allow people to customize their orders and prevent having to have a lot of cashiers. And then, of course, COVID hits, and now everybody's doing the delivery stuff. Well, in Japan, they are about to test these robots that are controlled by VR by employees who would be remote. Now, the idea is that these VR controlled robots will be operating in a couple of convenience stores and handle, you know, stocking the shelves and that kind of thing. It's Japan's Family Mart chain of Koboni introducing these remote controlled robots. The idea of this is to improve efficiency and reduce staffing costs for having people in the stores when nobody's really in there. Ry, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is basically this is just another example of trying to find ways to automate a lot of the tasks that most people do in their regular jobs. This is another avenue where they're kind of testing the automation sequence out in a different light. And I think it would be interesting to see how it actually works, if it is proficient enough, and actually helps the bottom line of these stores. Because even though they are having robots in stores, they're still being controlled by humans. So it's not a complete automation like AI sentient kind of thing, but it does open up the window to robotics, and also gives an avenue for these robotics to be used in all different kind of store environments, not just stores, but bigger chains, or maybe even a fast food chain.
Oh,
it's interesting. It's an interesting. And it just opens up the doorway for automation. Other avenues of our society.
all right. Yeah. So many ideas with that. Anyways, yeah, but robots. I mean, who didn't see this coming? Well, let's be honest. It's been kind of one of those geek anecdote things about the number of robots and development of robots coming out of Japan. I mean, movies have been touching on that for years.
Every sci-fi movie.
Well, I mean, look, RoboCop 3, it was Japan had made a humanoid robot and sent it in there, and of course the failsafe was a thermonuclear device. The fact that the thing is like what was that movie with Bruce Willis? Not Replicants or something like that? Not Replicants. No, that was Blade Runner.
I know which one you're talking about.
I can't. But it was basically you didn't live your life anymore. You sat in a VR station and controlled a robot to live your life for you, so you didn't have to leave the house. I mean, this is where it's like, okay, we're the gateway.
Yeah.
No, Ready Player One was all living inside VR. This was it was a movie a few years back. It was Bruce Willis. I believe he played a detective. And it was essentially normal for society for people to stay in their homes and then sit into these kind of like Atmos type deals, and kind of like the Avatar thing, kind of like in James Cameron's Avatar, you sit in the thing and you control the body, and the body interacts with the physical world. That's actually a really good example.
I found the name.
What is it?
It's the name of the movie that Bruce Willis was in is Surrogates.
That's it. Surrogates. Surrogates. Yeah, this strikes me as surrogates, or early phase surrogates. If you get the chance, watch Ready Player One. Actually, you know what? Don't watch Ready Player One. Listen to the audiobook for Ready Player One. Listen to that. Because I was actually thinking earlier today about changing my name to a Sararak. But I was thinking about doing that on the Discord, changing my nickname to a Sararak. Because apparently people think I just bring death wherever I go.
Hey, no.
People have clutched it out of my claws a couple of times. Yes, Chili, it is that much difference between the book and the movie. There really is that much. There's a lot more. Not to say there isn't a large number of references in the movie, but the amount of references and that deep-seated geek culture in the book is much better. And it's narrated by Will Wheaton, so come on. Anyways.
Hey, that's a good choice. Tell me.
I liked it. I thought it was a great book. Okay, so, yeah. Robots in convenience stores. We thought kiosks were bad. Wait till this comes across to the States. How many people are going to lose their minds?
Lose their minds. It's going to be how it's acceptable. How it would be accepted into American society, because some people might see change as a lot of people like to try to do. I think
a lot of people are just. I mean, people are having heartburn over raising the minimum wage, and then the blowback from that is businesses closing because of the overhead costs. You have this where you have these robots acting as people, so it's like, oh, I can't find any local talent to do this job. I'll just get the robot in and hire somebody who works 20 miles away, and he just splits his time. It's like, okay, I did one shift in this store as this robot, and then I do a shift in this other store as this robot. I mean,
the landscape of of jobs. That's what technology does. It just that change.
Well, and I'm all for that. I wish. Yeah, I mean, it's early phase on that, so give it time. It'll start crossing that anthropomorphic part, but it is. I'm all for the technology making things better, but what I'm having the issue with is that we are not evolving the jobs accordingly. The whole point of automation, the whole point of these things was to make some jobs that are repetitious or whatever, where you didn't have to constantly put human labor behind it. So in theory, human labor could then move on to something more challenging and to work on. But the problem is we're not upscaling in that regard. I mean, if anything, I think a lot of the kids in this era, comparatively, don't do a whole lot or know how to do a whole lot because they're so used to the fact that we've automated something so much that the knowledge to do it without the automation is gone. And on the same token, it's like we're not challenging them before. If like, wait a minute, why are we still worrying about a certain level of things? Because once they get out, they need this base level. Why don't we improve? Since we have more automation and more things that we can do with technology and whatnot, why don't we change the baseline education level and scale that up? And of course, this is my logic, my opinion. I know can get into a whole lot of discussion with several of the people who are teachers and whatever, who can give their insights on stuff. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, it's that, I do agree with that, is that technology being more integrated into our society, how we interact, shop, how we communicate, baseline for knowledge and education should up
Yeah.
or out, whatever direction. You
It should
call
be. It should be broad. It should be a broader because it's if anything, the more educated the society is, the less of these petty BS problems go away because you realize at a certain point it's like, wait a minute, why are we still dogmatic in this belief or that belief? Why can't we just evolve out, grow out of that? Because as you get more educated, you get more informed, you start to realize that you start to shift your attention from one thing to another. And I think a lot of the dogmas, and I'm not talking dogmas in the sense of religion, I'm talking dogmas in some of these socio issues that are constantly to a head. It's like, wait a minute, why are we still stressing about this? Because not everybody's on the same educational level. Once you bring them up, then at some point you realize this is not a problem. This is only a problem because you're ignorant. As long as you're ignorant, it's a problem. But that's my opinion, so...
My opinion, too.
Yeah,
We've had our conversations.
We have, and I don't want to go too far into it, but, you know.
Hey, but anyways, robots in your 7-Eleven, coming soon. Get your Slurpees, buy the robot.
I see a robot, and I'll raise you a stormtrooper.
You? What kind of stormtrooper?
Stormtrooper that runs for charity.
Awesome.
Especially when he is a Navy corpsman out at Camp Pendleton, California. What we got here is this Navy corpsman. In the picture we're seeing him, he's participating in a charity run. Back in 2016, he first started donning his stormtrooper armor and participating in runs and rucks for charity. Some of us, if you're not sure if you don't know what a ruck is basically a forced march. Those of us who've been in the ground side of the armed forces know that wonderful forced march thing. But he's been doing this. He has raised a crap ton of money for a whole lot. He's raised quite a bit for various charities. This particular picture, he's doing this charity has to deal with the Wounded Warrior Project, which, good, bad, or indifferent, it does strive to do good things for veterans, and I'm 100% all for helping veterans in any way, shape, or form, because I think veterans get basically a bad run. Yeah.
This is such a great cause. It combines, fandom combines fandom along with pumping up. Like you said, he has raised thousands of dollars for various
tens of thousands of dollars for various charities dealing with mental health, veterans, all of these things. And this is one of those weird cool factors. We grew up associating stormtroopers with the Empire. Stormtroopers are evil, they're bad, they can't shoot for nothing. But outside of the films, you got organizations like the 501st, who routinely dress up as stormtroopers and various Star Wars cosplay and do kind things for charity. I mean, this is by far not he's not the first one we've seen or heard of who's done their armor and done something for charity, because it's that recognition. As he sits there and admits, that armor is not comfortable.
It is not.
It is murder. It's not flexible. It's not very functional for someone who wants to be active. Shh. Not talking to you. But he does this because of it raises awareness and it helps to do that fundraising. I've wanted to get into the 501st for years, ever since I met a few of them. It's one of my bucket list things. I'd love to put together I think I wanted to go Republic Commando, but 501st is on my bucket list cosplay things to try and pull off, because I like what they stand for, and I like the lore behind it. Because for those who don't know, the 501st is the Legion that Anakin Skywalker commanded in the Clone Wars, that became Darth Vader's Legion when he started donning the armor. I mean, that's who the 501st was. So, and now of course you have all these different things and whatnot, like, and they mobilize. They move when you want to do something. It's awesome. And it's really cool, and the amount of work they go into those costumes is amazing. Any cosplayer who spends a lot of time on their costumes is amazing. So much love, much props.
I have a lot of friends that do cosplay. Much appreciated. Highlights a great combination of fandom and I appreciate it. Plus it's Star Wars.
You can't go wrong with Star Wars. Alrighty, number 3. This one's kind of a we were talking about robots taking over in convenience stores, but there's the other thing, and that is when it gets to a point, a store just has to close its doors. Now, Lord & Taylor, which is touted as one of the first department stores to ever open in the U.S., has, after 194 years, closed its doors. Filed for bankruptcy not too long ago, and then decided to close its remaining 40-some-odd stores. Now, for Ry and I, and those of us who've been in the Hampton Roads area, there was a Lord & Taylor here for a number of years, and it closed down as part of some of the renovations in one of the local malls.
Yep.
But this was kind of like in that same vein as like the Macy's and those kind of upper scale department stores. But I mean, it's kind of sad. I mean, that COVID really did put a hurt on a lot of businesses. And this one is clear. I mean, to see an old business like this go away sucks because there's a lot of history there. But on the same token, I mean, this is kind of what happens.
Yeah, it does happen. And Lord & Taylor, even though it's been around for so many years, it's iconic because it's the first department store. The high-end, very niche market combined with the COVID, and they were already struggling. It closed locally a while ago. Kind of saddened to see, but it's just one of those things where, you know, financially unstable, and then you get that one bad moment in time, and it forces you to change your decision. They're planning to some locations over, but financially it's better the company just to close them all up.
Yeah, and it's liquidating, going away. I'm not sure, Shad. I didn't know if Macy's bought them, but I don't think they did based on this article. That it looks like they did. They is still so independent. But this also, again, my opinion on something is, if a store closes, it closes. I am not a fan of the too big to fail, because if the business can't ride out the turbulence, then you need to have opportunity. It's a lot like in nature. You have to clear out the old growth so new growth can come in. You can't force things into a particular state of stasis and think it's going to be healthy. Eventually it just doesn't last. But it's sad to see it go. Let's lament the fact that there's a lot of history with this particular business, and see what happened. I mean, change is change.
Yeah, I agree to that. You gotta be able to adjust to the times. Look what happens to some of our namesakes from our childhood, like Blockbuster, and a lot of like the one I mentioned all the time, Suncoast. You gotta adjust to the times.
Huh.
And COVID caused a lot of this stuff. This is just one of many stores that are closing. But adjustments happen, but it might open up new retail business.
Well, it always does. As a one business, I mean, and you're right, Chili. Survival of the fittest. But one of those things that's really hilarious. This is proof positive of this kind of point. Is if you've ever been to a Cracker Barrel. Bear with me. Go to a Cracker Barrel and look at the walls. Look at all of those old brands for various things from way back in the day. And you realize that companies come and companies go. Artificially propping up a company for some perceived impact or lack thereof is short-sighted in my opinion. And again, this is my opinion. Like I don't think the bailouts should have happened for the automakers, because if they couldn't survive, then allow somebody new to come in. New ideas,
Yeah.
fresh ideas. Let's stop being stagnant.
And you bring up that example as a very great example, because bailouts for the auto companies, it popped up 2 of the 3 major American companies. Ford didn't take it. They had their own, they found their own path, and it shows a good example where a company found its own path without needing a bailout. So, like you said, if the bailout didn't happen, we might have had a new breed of cars coming out.
Yeah, I mean, look at what happened to Hostess.
Yep.
Hostess closed, and then it was reconstituted in new forms.
But who asked about Macy buying Lauren Taylor?
That was Shad. He brought that up.
I did the quick Ry Guy research. This is from.
It's a good starting point for any research.
Okay. So, quote, Federated Department Stores, now known as Macy's Inc., acquired May Department Store August 30th, 2005. They had the Lauren Taylor brand. On January 12th, 2006, Federated shared the president sold by the end of the year. That was the end of the
Okay, so Macy's did buy Lord & Taylor, but then sold it off to another company. Sold it off. It happens.
So they bought it and sold it, and then there you have it.
Moving on.
Moving on, people.
That was our third story. Here's our fourth story, and this one's fun.
Retrofitting at its finest.
Ginger of Mods. He's kind of known in the community as someone who likes to take retro game consoles and make them into handhelds. His latest creation is taking the Wii U, I believe. No, just the Nintendo Wii, and converting it into a handheld. And in this case, it's very reminiscent of a Game Boy called the Wii Boy Color. This is kind of cool because it was just Wii, as his argument is the Wii has a great library that not everything is going to get converted up to the Switch. So sat there and made it. I mean, it's cool. He took an LCD screen. He took the components, 3D printed the case that we're seeing in this picture, a couple of batteries, and you being able to utilize the USB-C for charging is able to recharge it. Interesting tidbit on that is he says these custom builds like this run about $1,000. So it may be a little pricey for mass market, but on the other hand, ingenuity, creativity, and this is what he came up with. Dude, that's awesome. Ry, what give us a little bit more.
This is just a great insight into, like you said, creativity. And he took different parts and different things to bring the Game Boy Color case. So, a couple of tidbits. The joysticks on the front are from Nintendo Switch. The face buttons are from a DS Lite. Both are combined using the circuitry of a GameCube controller. Then on the back of the handheld are 2 trigger Z buttons and a fan for the cooling system. What he did was he took the parts from the key and condensed them, combined them, do soldering and some stuff to retrofit that are from the console fit perfectly. The magic. It is great to see a system that will capture a good example of preserving video game history. Not only is it preserving Wii's catalog, but it's preserving the virtual console catalog that is on the Wii and other like games that have been.
Yeah, he also said that the actual rendering on this screen he's got in here is actually better than the rendering you get when you plug it into the TV back when it's an original console.
Yeah, that's kind of awesome because I remember the Wii graphics. So if he upgraded that, that's definitely awesome. Just based on the video in the article on TikTok, it just showcased a lot of the games.
Yeah, so that's gotta tip that. Now, you guys all mentioned, you guys made a comment about Ready Player One meeting reality. Well, guess what? Oh no!
Ready Player One. Back to the
Amazon got final approval. They can start using drones to deliver boxes. Amazon on Monday received approval from the Federal Aviation Administration to operate its fleet of prime air delivery drones. The approval will give Amazon broad privileges to safely and efficiently deliver packages to customers. Amazon is the latest to join UPS and Alphabet owned Wing, who previously won FAA approval for doing drone deliveries. So it's coming. And the reason and this is where I'm tying it back to Ready Player One, because there was a bit in Ready Player One where you could buy something in the Oasis online, and a drone would deliver it to your house. Now, granted, we all don't live in VR, although some of us live on Twitch a lot, or just anyways. We don't all have VR headsets to live in our world, but we can order online and within a couple of days have it shipped. I mean, I've been utilizing the Amazon Fresh recently, so it's like I don't even have to go to the grocery store. I just order my groceries, have them delivered. I'm good.
Oh yeah.
And buying stuff, it's like I bought the parts and things like that. I didn't have to go anywhere. Didn't have to worry about it. But now it's gonna start having the drones fly. It's gonna be awesome. And of course, people are gonna be upset because oh no, technology is taking away jobs.
No, I think this is actually a great thing because it's going to improve the delivery service. Also, it probably streamlines it more efficient after relying on some costly mail. Which I had a package happen recently with that. So they'll probably do a lot of tests to make sure they can do it. Air traffic control. We don't want to run into things. I don't think it'll go that high. But,
no, well, but there's still aspects. Just like if you were to have a drone now and use a drone in certain areas, there are certain rules and regulations and registrations you have to do. My son got one for a couple years ago, and it was one of the ones that was just big enough to where we had to take a look into that because potentially hit power lines, or you might travel high enough to interfere with something, but you just had to do that. And with these, we're talking, these are like the big industrials things because they're carrying weight, and I imagine they're probably going to be most useful in like rural areas where the adage "as a crow flies" it makes more sense than navigating the roads.
Oh yeah, it does emphasize in the article that they want to use it for density. They want to bring it class, so get it driving on those country. Not a fun.
Oh, I know.
It can be fun, but not a fun. I think this is just another example of technology moving society, but then also at the same time branch up and out.
Yeah, that's a good question. I guess it'll depend on the size of the drone and what some of those requirements are. Obviously, some people's porches are not big enough to handle the drone dropping in and landing and then flying back out. Then there's just the control aspect for doing it. So I think this is again one of those we're on the cusp of something really cool, and now we just need some more time to let it kind of evolve itself out.
Oh yeah, like drone delivery, autonomous vehicles, grocery delivery, and a lot of it. Popping off cars with how used to do things to what people are going to do. Deliver it to my treehouse. I don't have one. I don't know where they'll be going.
We will find out at some point.
Makes sense. Oh, Amazon delivery. Air.
Alrighty, well, it is... Wow, it's about almost been 2 hours hanging out with everybody. That's it for all our main talking points, and now it's just kind of what's up, what's not. Shout out to everybody. It'd be nice to get this is September for Twitch. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, this would be a good month to do it because they're partnering with Capital One to offer discounts on new subscriptions, as well as subscriptions for like 3 and 6 months, as well as single month. You get a discount for some of those if you want to go for multi-month subscriptions. It looks like should be introducing that in there, so you can do a multi-month subscription to a channel if you want. But you know, let's continue to grow the community. All the support is helpful. All right, good night, Glock. You have a good night, sir. But so unless there's something else, I think we're gonna go ahead and call it. Let's see, is there anybody out and about on the interwebs? Let's see. Ooh, here we go. How about we give some love to the Thread Raiders? Tabletop. What do you guys think? Feeling up for a raid?
Next week. Fun.
Gotta get some sleep, soccer. Yeah, you got that early shift. Oh, I'm not sure what new movies are coming out for next week. I think Ry's got Tenet already, so we'll see what's up.
Next weekend, I don't know what's next weekend, but I did see that horror movie left. I might check that out.
Oh, that's right, independent horror movie. Alrighty, well, just a quick recap again. Thank you to Syrinscape for its background music and soundboards. Thank you to everyone out in the community. We met our community challenge, which means now it's time to start picking what show we're going to be developing. If you're not a member of our Discord community, please jump on the Discord, general chat, give your suggestions. I'm looking for suggestions for the type of show, when during the week, what time of day, and about how long should we try and do a show for. So all suggestions are welcome. By all means, please jump in, join our community. It's growing. We're having lots of fun. It's still got some things on the way. And if there's nothing else, you all have a wonderful week. Stay safe, and we will see you on our next stream.
Peace.